Hi everyone, it's great to see you. As you can tell, it is cold outside. I have bundled up and we are heading out to the shed to take a look at the hydrangeas that are in planters that are overwintering in there. So come along here and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so here is our unheated shed, and what I've done is I filled up a bucket with water here, and I have a 1 cup measurement. What I want to do is about once a month come out here and make sure everything gets about a cup of water. So it's a little dark in here. Oh, we have the hose reel, that's okay. Let's see if you can take a peek in. Look at all of these babies. They are all dormant, so they really don't need a lot of water. We just need to keep them moist enough to live through the winter. And 1 cup of water a month is what does it. So I'm going to start way over here in the back. And I'm just going to try to go through. Now, I moved these into the shed about December 7th, I want to say. I'll let you see this in just a second. And all I'm doing is dipping this in, getting the water, and then right at the base, pouring it on. And that's all it's really going to need. I also have some of the Japanese maples that were in pots that I did not feel were hardy enough down to a low enough zone to leave outside in the pots for the weather, so they're getting that same 1 cup. You don't need that much, just enough to keep them going. There we go. And some of these have a couple plants in here, so I might just make sure both plants get a little water. And this really is enough. It doesn't seem like it should be enough, but it is. And these all look great. When I moved in the hydrangeas, I counted them all up, and there were just about 22 hydrangeas that I keep in planters. So these are the ones that really are either special or they're maybe not hardy enough to live in the ground, or I just want to be able to move them around easily. So keeping them in the pots is the way to go. And these grow bags work great. There's some in the way back that I might not be able to reach. Ooh, this could be tricky. Okay, we're gonna do the best we can. Ooh, there we go. I would have been smart to have left a little walkway. Remember that if you're going to do that, if you're taking 22 hydrangeas in. So when I brought these in December 7th, all the leaves pretty much had fallen off. And if they hadn't, I did go through and just cut any leaves or any dead flowers off. I didn't trim them back at all, just enough. I didn't want the dead leaves in here. Now, I do have a heuchera there. Heuchera are evergreen. If it was just the heuchera in the planter, it could have stayed out. But because there's a hydrangea in with it, it came in. Oh, okay. Dan, I'm going to come right over where you're standing. There we go. We almost got it. Oh, yes. Get to say hi to all my babies. This is Fairy Tale Fresco. Didn't bloom last year because it was my first year with it, but I'm excited about this year. Okay, and I have 2 way back there that I'm going to climb back to get. So don't videotape this. This could be an acrobatic act. Perfect. We missed a little bit there. Almost. We're going to throw the rest of the bucket. Perfect enough. We're good. So that is all that I have to do for this month. So I'll be back at beginning of February to do that once again. We're going to close them in. Uh-oh. I forgot this little guy. Okay, I got to go get more water. I'll be right back. I found a couple new Japanese maples that also need to be put in here. One I had shipped to me recently, and because it's in the pot and not in the ground, I'm going to bring that in, and this one I just had missed. They are plenty moist because they've been outside, so I'm not worried about them at all. But we'll just bring them in here. Let me come over to this little baby. This was a propagation, so I honestly don't know if it'll make it through the winter, but we shall see. It probably doesn't need a full cup of water, so I'll just give it a little. There we go, and it'll just drink that in. Okay. So we'll give a wave to all those great plants. Love you all. See you soon. Can't wait for the spring. And let's step outside and see what else is going on. So since I'm outside and dressed for the weather, I'm just going to do a quick walk around to see if there's anything that I noticed that needs to be done. And as I walked over here, one thing I saw way back here in this planter is this red twig dogwood. So red twig dogwood turns this nice red. This isn't a super bright red, but it's my first year with it, and I'm growing it in a planter, so I'm glad to see it changed a little bit. It hadn't changed at all before, and it gets its best color on that year's growth. So come spring, I'm actually going to trim this back again. Good to keep an eye on. I have some planters that are just staying outside, and these all have plants in them that will be fine. They don't have hydrangeas. We have our coral bells, our heuchera, 2 different kinds here. They'll be great. They are semi-evergreen. So actually, when the rabbits start to get too hungry, they will come up and nibble these. But these leaves in the spring, I'll cut back and we'll get a new flush of growth. Some of the pots look like they're actually empty, like this one, but there is a hosta in here, and it comes back great every year, so I don't worry much about those. Now, I do have some nice cloches here, and I have a whole bunch of this fencing, and I'm actually going to grab some of this because now that we're really into the cold winter, if the rabbits get hungry, they might start to nibble on my Japanese maples. The Japanese maples are tiny. They like to sort of eat the bark around the bottom at times, and I don't want that. So I'm going to bring these to the front, and we're just going to plop these around. Now I know that the bunnies, they definitely could, reach right over and eat the plants still, but this is probably a bit of a deterrent. Let's give it a try. You can see I already have a bunch of cages around these, so I've been looking after them, but I just know some didn't get that. So I want to add that in as that little extra protection. It also helps near our driveway here too when it snows. It can be kind of tough to tell where the garden starts. So having these little fences up, I feel like my babies are protected. There we go. Okay, let me run back, grab some more, and I'll be right up front again. I'm going to put this one over a wee bit giddy just because it's towards the edge, and I really just don't want people driving over it. Let me see what one would be best. There we go. These are just little fences that I ordered off of Amazon. They come in pieces, so you can put them together to have 2 sections, or you could have 3 sections, which is bigger. And you can tell that we had somebody run one over. Nobody has taken responsibility for this, but this is not going to be used. And I have our irrigation here. So what I'm going to do is just put that over the irrigation so people know that it's there. We'll just leave that for there now. Let's see. The other irrigation, I think, is right towards the middle here. Not positive. Okay, that looks good. So all these little baby trees should be protected. And you know, actually having a layer of snow on them like this is a really good thing right now. It really insulates them and actually keeps their roots warmer than if we didn't have it. So I'm happy about that. I also just love snow, so it's just a good thing. So it's fun to take a quick look around outside, but I'm heading back into the warmth now. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.